Rather lads, welcome back to Kossi's Arsenal podcast. My name is Kossi. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to brand new video. Now, there is a lot to dive into around Mudryk. Again, Ben Jacobs has been speaking around this move and he has reassured Arsenal fans that the deal is 100% on. It couldn't be done in the summer, but it is 100% on. Either in January or in the summer, we will see Arsenal going back for Mudryk. Now, the young Ukrainian international continues to impress, in Europe. In the UEFA Champions League, is having a very, very good campaign. 2 goals now in 2 matches. Ben Jacobs has really given us a lot of information on this deal, and I want us to dive into the possibility of Arsenal walking in for Mudryk in January, and also because the reason that's why I've done this video is because Ben Jacobs is the journalist that had an exclusive interview with Mudryk shortly after the window was closed. And they shared a lot about Arsenal and his move in January and probably even in the summer. But also Arsenal legend Kevin Campbell has been speaking about Mudryk and the profile of the player. And he says, you look at Arsenal, you look at Mudryk, that is the profile of players Arsenal looking for. And I don't think he can turn down Arsenal if Arsenal are serious about him. So we're going to be having a lot, quite a chat around Mudryk. Hit the like button. Let's get it to 300 likes. Subscribe to the podcast as well. Let's get it to 60,000 subscribers. Now, let us start off with what Ben Jacobs has said around this move. You can find his full exclusive interview on the Football Terrace. I think Terry Flares has really done a very, very wonderful job with this one. So first and foremost, he was asked whether Arsenal are willing to go back for Mudryk in January or even in the summer if Shakhtar Donetsk remain adamant not to sell in January. And he said, look, the deal for Mudryk is 100% on. Although Arsenal wanted Pedro Neto initially, they believe the deal for Mudryk is doable and it is easier than that for Pedro Neto. Of course, with Pedro Neto, the Premier League experience and the number of clubs interested could make the deal a little bit harder. There are also clubs interested in Mudryk, but the difference is the profile of clubs interested. Arsenal is the biggest club interested in Mudryk currently at the moment. The other clubs are Leverkusen, Everton and Brentford. So you look at the profile of the other clubs interested in the player and also concerned with this deal, and you feel Arsenal are a little bit ahead and secure. So he says the deal is 100% on. January, Arsenal will go back. If it fails, they will go back in the summer. Now, just like I said, I think personally, and many Arsenal fans, if you guys watch the Champions League, I'm quite impressed with Mudryk and the start he has had to this season. You know, we were going to sign him for 30 million euros or 40 million euros, depending on the price that could have been agreed upon in the summer. But we really didn't know much about him. And the reason is kind of a breakout star. He's kind of a young star rising onto the scene. So he has not played as many minutes as the likes of Pedro Neto, as the likes of Moussa Diaby, as the likes of Anthony and Cody Gakpo. So we never knew much about him. We looked at a few YouTube clips that had been compiled in a rush because we were in that transfer period where those channels that compile, player skills are always, under pressure to produce these skills. So we were only judging his performances of YouTube clips. But now we have seen 90 minutes of him in the UEFA Champions League. We've seen him score goals. We've seen the attributes that he has to his game. And in my opinion, among all the players we are interested in, he's one to watch. He's definitely one to watch. Now, the key element he has over players like Pedro Neto is the ability to be clinical and score goals. My problem with Pedro Neto, he has the pace, he has the skill set, he has a very good character and a very good attitude. He's forward thinking. But my problem with Pedro Neto, he lacks the clinical levels. He gets the chances, he gets into those dangerous areas, but he doesn't score the goals. Cody Gakpo on the other side scores the goals and really creates a lot of assists, but I don't think Cody Gakpo is a wide player. He's not an out and out wide player, just like Mudryk. That is why Mudryk would be the better player other than Cody Gakpo. So what I've seen so far for me, I'm 100% impressed with the Ukrainian. So let's get into let's digest the interview from Ben Jacobs. He says deal 100% on, and he says the valuation for Arsenal currently has not changed. It is around 30 million euros. Shakhtar Donetsk look at the player, and Fabrizio Romano also today spoke about Mikhail Mudryk, and he said the difference between Arsenal and Shakhtar is still 20 million euros. That is still the problem. So our valuation is 30 million euros, confirmed by Ben Jacobs today, and Shakhtar Donetsk's valuation, confirmed by Fabrizio Romano, is 50 or 50 plus million euros. But of course, Ben Jacobs says there should be a consensus. Shakhtar Donetsk will be able to reach a consensus with Arsenal. Either Arsenal to pay around 40 or 38 million euros. Shakhtar will reduce on the asking price a little bit, but Arsenal also have to increase on the amount of money they can offer a little bit. So what is interesting for this situation, is January. In January, there is a high possibility that Shakhtar Donetsk could be. Now, I don't know if they will be, because they have already picked up. How many points do they have in the UEFA Champions League now? They have 4 points. So it is now highly unlikely that they will drop out of the UEFA Champions League on the group stage. So they will be going on to the UEFA Champions League round of 16, and hopefully they will progress to the quarterfinals of the UEFA Champions League. Now, that creates a problem for Arsenal, and of course, Ben Jacobs was speaking about it, and he said the more Shakhtar go deeper in the UEFA Champions League, the higher the price. If they think he's around 50 million euros currently, and he does well, probably he scores around 4 goals in the group stages of the UEFA Champions League, then Shakhtar Donetsk will feel he should be going for around 60 million euros. And you don't blame Shakhtar. You look at all these prices around youngsters. Jude Bellingham, 100 million euros. If you don't have that, you cannot sign him. Erling Haaland, of course, going for around 70 million euros. The likes of Darwin Núñez going for around 100 million euros. Anthony, 100 million euros. So the prices in the market are absolutely astonishing. They're absolutely crazy. And no one should blame Shakhtar Donetsk for looking at Mikhail Mudryk as one of those prospects in world football that should be going for anything above 50 million euros. So there is a possible sell in January, but that will depend on how far Shakhtar Donetsk progress in the UEFA Champions League. If they go to the round of 16, you bet they will want to keep him, because look, with the UEFA Champions League, the farther you go, the deeper you go, the more money. And I know you know that, right? I mean, we Arsenal fans under the Kroenke regime, we know all the financial, highs and lows of football. So, I mean, you would pray that Shakhtar don't get deep into the UEFA Champions League, but it's a little bit too late, unless they lose their 3 upcoming games, which are something I don't see happening very, very soon. So I think Shakhtar will go to the UEFA Champions League round of 16. And that means a sell in January is going to be a little bit more difficult. It's one of the situations where the player is going to be pushing for a move. He's already said, I have Arsenal in my mind, and I'm 100% okay with playing for the club. But can Arsenal sanction a deal in January? It's going to be difficult. Shakhtar will be thinking more money in the UEFA Champions League, and then we sell Mikhail Mudryk in the summer. Now, again, Ben Jacobs speaking about Mikel Arteta and his conviction on Mikhail Mudryk. And this is what I loved about the interview. He said Mikel Arteta has already highlighted the importance of signing Mikhail Mudryk, and he says the attributes of the player, including quick feet, ability to play in short spaces, finishing, and being able to play on both sides of the forward line, is one of the some of the reasons as to why Mikel Arteta is crazy about the signing. Now, we know there is not enough cover for Bukayo Saka, and that is what we are looking at. Mikhail Mudryk is predominantly, I just love the way he plays on that left-hand side. So he's predominantly a left winger. You look at his game and how it is built. He's more of a left winger rather than a right winger. And you might think Arsenal really needs someone to cover for Saka rather than to cover for Gabriel Martinelli. But information that Ben Jacobs has is Mikel Arteta has looked at Mikhail Mudryk, and he has already assessed his ability to play both on the right hand side and also on the left hand side. And in my opinion, he can, because according to what I've seen, he has that very, very soft left foot, just like Bukayo Saka. Of course, I mean, Saka has played on the right-hand side as an inverted wing, and many people don't really realize how good this guy can be if you played him down the left. I mean, Martinelli is absolutely magnificent playing down the left, but if Saka plays down the left-hand side of the pitch, he's also absolutely magnificent. And I think Mikhailo Mudryk also has that to his game. He runs a lot, but he has the ability to also pause a second and cut inside, kind of inverted. That is what Mikel Arteta is looking at. And, we've always focused on versatility when it comes to signing players, especially last summer. Zinchenko, very versatile. Gabriel Jesus, very versatile. Fabio Vieira, very versatile as well. And a couple of other players. So, Mikhailo Mudryk is going to be is he going to be another addition to the collection of versatility? So the key attributes Mikel Arteta has seen: quick feet, ability to play in short spaces, the finishes. I mean, go back and watch his finishes in the UEFA Champions League this season. He's amazing. He's absolutely amazing. You look at him as one of those young talents, and you're going to be intrigued. You're absolutely going to be intrigued. The goal against Celtic, we've just watched it here with my producer. That is absolutely calm. That is absolutely fantastic. He's a top talent, a really, really top talent. So in terms of competition, Ben Jacob says currently Everton, Leverkusen and Brentford are all monitoring the signature of Mikhailo Mudryk. The two of them have already placed a bid on the table for Shakhtar Donetsk, and those bids were rejected. That is Everton and Brentford. Now, I know Brentford were madly, crazily interested in Mikhailo Mudryk. And I tell you what, if you add Mikhailo Mudryk, I mean, this is top-notch scouting from Brentford. If you add Mikhailo Mudryk to Brian Mbeumo and Ivan Toney, are you mad? Do you want to light up the Premier League? I mean, it's too much quality for Brentford. I mean, look, I'm only kidding. I mean, the Premier League is full of quality sides. But you can exactly see the type of clubs interested in Mikhailo Mudryk, and the nature and the quality. Everton, yes, they don't have enough quality for me up top, but if you add Mikhailo Mudryk to what's the name of that young winger, that it's not even young, just forgetting his name. No, I mean, I'm stuck with Idrissa Gana Gueye in my head, but I mean, he's the only spark at Everton this campaign. What is his name? No, not Gordon. You have Gordon, but then you have Gray, Demarai Gray. That's the name I'm looking for. So if they add Anthony Gordon and Demarai Gray, and then you add Mikhailo Mudryk, and then you get a decent number 9, in front of them, that could be absolute quality. So, and of course, Leverkusen, we know Leverkusen with sporting talent and transforming them. I think with Leverkusen, they have been in their side window and they've seen Mikhailo Mudryk. If we can get him for 25 million euros, in the next 3 years, this guy is going to be going for 100 million euros. And I'm telling you this, in the next summer, Arsenal will pay double 30 million euros, double the price, double the valuation for Mikhailo Mudryk. It's going to be around 55, 60 million euros. But for me, guys, he's worth it. So the competition for me, lads, here is not frightening. I mean, I'm not afraid of going in battles head-to-head with Brentford for a player. Of course, we lost the battle for Aaron Hickey. I don't think Arsenal were really serious about Aaron Hickey. I'm not afraid of going head-to-head with Everton and Leverkusen. Of course, the players already given us the endorsement. And this takes me to what Kevin Campbell has said about him. So he says, I truly believe he is the profile for Arsenal. He seems to have a great attitude. I think he likes Arsenal. Obviously, his Ukrainian captain is at Arsenal. He's probably ringing Zinchenko and saying, speak to the manager and get me over there. Look, the guy just looks like Jack Grealish. I mean, the hair also makes things a little bit more interesting. But he's Ukrainian. And the captain, I think we can use that kind of bond. We can use that kind of link. Is Ukraine going to be in the World Cup? The last time I knew they were, the last time I saw, they were still playing qualifiers, right? they are still playing qualifiers for qualifiers to go to the World Cup. So I will find out. But if they're going to play in the World Cup, it might be even a closer space, a closer opportunity for Alexander Zinchenko to convince Mikhail Mudryk, and I think that is what the social capital is for. Zinchenko can't convince Mikhail Mudryk easily, but what I mean, again, what Kevin Campos speaks about him is absolutely right. Right profile for Arsenal, 21, really promising. You don't expect him to flop, and if you sign him, he's going to be here for the next 9 years, 10 years, until 31, until 32. If Arsenal don't decide to move him on, right profile, absolutely right profile. And of course, the mentality, he loves Arsenal. He would love to play for Arsenal. He already has Alexander Zinchenko to influence him, to influence his decision to join Arsenal. I look at this one as a deal in our own hands. Lastly, Ben Jacobs was speaking again about, the level at which he's playing, and he said currently many pundits are comparing him to Kylian Mbappe and Vinicius Jr. Now, comparing him to Vinicius Jr. is a little bit unfair to Vinicius. I've followed Vinicius for the last almost 1 year, and he's extremely flamboyant. I think Kylian Mbappe for me currently is overrated a little bit, just a little bit. I think Vinicius Jr. is slightly ahead of Kylian Mbappe, and if we were to go to by statistics, and also looking at the importance and impact of both players for their sides, Vinicius Jr. is by far a better player in terms of impact, for Real Madrid. But if Mikhail Mudryk is up there in the conversations with names like Vinicius Jr., with names like Jack Grealish, with names like Kylian Mbappe, these are names that are worth billions now. Jack Grealish is 100 million euros, Kylian Mbappe is worth billions, and Vinicius Jr. has just signed a new contract with a release clause of $1 billion. So we're talking about players who are worth billions, young players who are worth billions. And the fact that Mikhail Mudryk's name is comfortably mentioned among those ranks, you need to give him the credit he deserves. Absolutely, he deserves the credit. So for me, guys, Mikhail Mudryk is one to watch. Deal 100% on. I'll be keeping you posted. I wanted to do this video because the information comes in from Ben Jacobs, a journalist that did an exclusive interview with him on the CBS Golazo podcast. I'll see you soon.